whatever, I don't want to lose period, and so they won't try.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll just stay there because they feel confident because they've secured this dominant position. And as long as I can keep it. And it's like, well, you don't really help yourself grow if you don't take those chances, because then you won't learn from any mistakes you make
Well, I
from
mean,
trying
yeah,
new things.
just like anything in life, like to get something, you have to try and fail, try and fail.
Mm-hmm.
You might get it the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 19th time, but after that,
First time.
what?
100th time, like, I'm sure I've done
Oh
moves
yeah,
like 100 times over, and, the first 100 times I tried it, I didn't succeed, but, you do it enough times that you get that muscle memory down, and then you learn, "Oh, this one little thing that I missed in this for this particular technique," and then, you get better and better, your timing is better. It's not always just about the technique either. It's also about the situation that you're trying the technique in too. So it's not just like, oh, I need to master this technique and I need to force it on my partner, because everything's situational, right? With jujitsu, everything's situational. And so there could be like some moves that you're trying and it's just not the right time for that particular movement to be successful, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And so then, you keep failing and failing and failing until you realize, like, oh, this is the right situation. And you realize when you can be opportunistic and use that technique. Oh, okay, now is when I go for it. Or maybe you don't even realize, like, oh, now is the opportunity. Maybe you just like happenstance, whatever, you just try it again and you're like, oh, it worked this time. I wonder why it works this time as opposed to the other 15 times I've tried it and failed.
Yeah.
Anyway, blabbering. But yeah, if that's just jujitsu. Anything you're learning in life, it's bound to be multiple mistakes and on the road to success.
Yeah. So speaking of mistakes and being overpowered, I wanted to review two videos. One video I think I sent you already. The one of the controversial ladies match,
Oh yeah,
that
oh my
one.
gosh.
And then there was a
This could end up being a very controversial topic, and I don't want you to.
we're already shadow banned. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Wait, can I say before you play that video, I just want to say one thing about open mat today.
Go
I
ahead.
felt like Masasugi, okay, this is what I'll say. It's great to have a coach who puts you in your place. It's one of those things that you love, that you should appreciate, even though it's very frustrating. I say that because there are times where, like, I roll with anybody else and I feel like I'm doing really good. Like, I feel like I'm moving fast. I feel like my techniques are working. And then I roll against Master Sugi and I'm just like being demolished. And he's just like, he keeps getting my back. He keeps choking me out. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then I ask him, then he says, you're moving too slow. And I was like, I thought it was fast. Like, I was trying to be fast.
You know,
And it's just like very frustrating because then I'm like, wow, I freaking suck. And I'm trying not to be upset about that, because he's been an Olympic level athlete and he's a black belt and he's been a black belt for a few years now, and it's like he's our coach, so you don't necessarily want to be better than your coach, but it's also like, come on, throw me a bone here, man, you know.
you, you
And I came to the conclusion, sorry, I came to the conclusion that at least I have a coach where no matter how old he gets, it's like I never have a fighting chance against him. Like, you want that from your coach ultimately. You want a coach who you don't who can, kick your butt and put you in your place and make you realize there is still room for learning and growth. And even if you feel like you're doing well on with everyone else, he's Master Sugi for a reason. He's your coach for a reason. Like, there's still, progression there in the future. So, like, I guess silver lining would be, well, I'm not as good as him yet, so there's still a lot more I can do to get to that point. And that's the motivation to keep training, even
Yeah.
if I feel like I'm kicking everyone else's asses.
So I noticed that when he rolls with me, he goes at a slower pace. And I'm wondering if that's because he knows I have asthma, or if it's because since I outweigh him by so much, maybe he's a little bit worried I might slip and, you know, crush him or hurt him or
I don't know.
something.
Because I saw him rolling with Alan too, and I was like, he's going a lot slower with Alan. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, is he just giving me a hard time or something? I kind of felt, and then he put me in a body lock at some point, and he like squeezed the body lock, and I had to tap because it hurt my back. And he was like, ha 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 ha, ha. You tap to a body lock, and I was like, yeah, it hurt my back. You try giving birth to a human being, like that will mess your body up. Like, hello, are you a woman? No, I have back issues now ever since I gave birth to Lila. Thank you very much. So it's sensitive. So yes, I tapped because you just put me in a body lock. So anyway, my ego was crushed today. But
Well,
anyway, about the video.
hold on. On that topic of open mat earlier, I kind of felt bad because we had 3 visitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys that came over, I heard Trevor tell him that I was quote unquote really good.
Mm-hmm.
So when I rolled with him, I was just gingerly rolling, like I was taking a walk in the woods,
Low rolling.
just do 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 do. I
Mm-hmm.
think I was at one point singing "Baby Shark" out loud,
Mm-hmm.
which
That must have, you emasculated him.
well, I submitted him like more than I probably should have because after
I'll
about two
sing you Baby
minutes,
Shark, I hope.
after 2 minutes, he was like, "Thank you," and he shook my hand and walked away.
Thanks, okay. I'm gonna get out of here. Was he the one who put his gi on later, or was he the one with the, what was it, yellow shorts or something?
It was the guy in the other dude, not the one who put on the gi.
Okay, the one like the yellow shorts. I remember the other one
Yeah,
was wearing like these bright ass shorts, but I didn't roll with that guy. I did roll with the guy who put on his gi eventually, and yeah, they were he was a good visitor. I thought I was I guess I expected him to be like maybe purple belt or something, but I think he's only blue.
yeah.
I mean, whatever, it's always nice to have visitors and welcome them in our own special way. Um, but I got I wasn't mean, but I was me.
Mm-hmm.
I always am,
Well,
I'm gonna
well,
train the.
you Frankie has a story about it, but I get in a zone where I get like songs stuck in my head, and I'll start singing them while I'm rolling,
Mhm.
and I guess that relaxes me or something
Helps
because
you concentrate.
it's like just
It's like
like
it's like the background noise. It's like watching a TV series while, doing your while your muscle memory just kicks into gear. That's all of that is.
yeah. I had to apologize to that dude when he walked off the mat. I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I was having a good
It's
time.
really like, yeah, man, F you
My,
too.
my kids are here, like just kind of point A and point B." Oh, but anyway, so the video. So
Yes, the video.
we're gonna
Mhm.
watch a video that's been floating around. It's a little bit controversial.
Oh my
So
gosh, I keep seeing it popping up everywhere.
yeah, and the funny thing is, I found out that the young lady in the yellow spats,
Hmm.
her coach is a guy that we did a critique of last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I found a video that he did explaining the whole situation. And I was just
Oh,
looking at him. I was like, this guy looks familiar. And I
but
looked
explaining what situation? What
the
about
sit
the
the
situation?
controversy with that match.
Oh, okay.
He was talking about it. So, um, Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna pull it up and then we can look it over. Oh God, I have too many screens open.
The choice of technology. Yeah, I feel like this video is kind of reaching beyond just the jujitsu community also. I mean, I feel like it's reaching, because I've seen it in my feed posted from all sorts of pages, a lot of conservative pages, I will admit. Um, and so I feel like it's beyond the jujitsu community at this point, because it's saying something a little bit more about just jujitsu and combat sports. But with that, go ahead and
Yeah.
play.
So I've actually seen the opposite opinion. I've seen some of my more left leaning friends using this as a example of why um, women and trans women should be allowed to compete together, and it's solely because the young lady in the yellow won.
Mm,
But just a
yeah.
little bit of a background story.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, yeah. The young lady in the yellow spats is about 130 pounds. The trans woman on the left is about 200 pounds. So this is about this a similar size difference between me and Yana.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let's
Huge weight difference. Very
yeah.
big weight difference here.
So let's just play it through and then we'll go back and critique different points. Here we go.
And my old woman glasses on.
Or we can critique it while we're going.
Well, yeah, you can tell that the one in the yellow spats did a really good job of going inverted. Here, I feel like she made the mistake that I always do, which was she had the opportunity to take her opponent's back and just did not get her hooks in fast enough. Um, you can tell she's really going for that guillotine though. But I think that guillotine could have easily been defended, to be honest. If I really want to know, first of all, what level this was. I'm gonna guess it was I want to say it's intermediate. Maybe not. It's really hard to say if it's novice or intermediate, because the way that the woman in the yellow spats inverted like that, and was trying to get her hooks in and trying to get up out, it makes me think that this is intermediate. Yeah, this at this point, you can tell she was like trying to get like her hooks into something, like her foot hooked on her opponent's leg. But that makes me think that this is intermediate level. But the way that her opponent is headlocking her in a way that like nobody in jiu-jitsu would actively try to headlock. I mean, that looks like some kind of wrestling move, not necessarily jiu-jitsu move, but maybe wrestling. I don't know. I wouldn't try to take someone down like that. That's very like muscling through it. But go ahead and play it again.
Oh, 1 second. All right.
Like
So
this is a very novice move. But you can tell that she's trying to get her opponent is trying to get that arm bar. Did you
right.
notice it wasn't that her opponent was just headlocking her and staying there?
Yeah.
There was an arm bar being attempted, and the woman in the yellow spats was successfully able to kind of wiggle out of that.
So
It's really hard to tell if this is intermediate or novice. There's only
so
3 levels, so beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That's it with no gi.
so honestly, I thought what happened here. Hold on, let me pause it. It looked like um she was going for a headlock throw. Like it's like a kind of a I don't know if I don't know if it's really done very much anymore, but when I did judo, there instead you could do a variation of a hip throw where you get a headlock
Mm,
and you execute it from there, but you could land in scarf hold.
mm,
And as we play this out, that actually looks like what was being attempted here.
I see. Okay. Yeah, true.
And that armbar that was being attempted, that's an armbar that I teach from scarf hold when I do teach that position. So it looks like, honestly, um, Yellow's opponent simply just tried to muscle her down, try to, force scarf hold and try to force an armbar. Because if we go back here, there's no throw there. There's no hip throw. There's no Uchimata. There's no
Just a lot of muscling and weight drop.
right. Uh, I'm gonna call them gray shirt. Gray shirt basically just forced her to the mat.
Hmm.
I would say this is probably a beginner's
You think
match.
so? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really torn. I don't think it's very clearly an intermediate. I don't think the skill level shows that, but it's also not complete novice. Like that's not their first day on the mats, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that all being said, yeah, it seems like for Gray's shirt there was a lot of muscling involved. I mean, I think that's pretty clear.
Now,
Um,
the dangerous part about this is this position right here. Even though Yellow tried to counter, Gray Shirt's going for scarf hold, but the way that she countered, Gray Shirt's weight is now probably like in her neck,
mhm.
upper torso area. So that's in the way that Gray Shirt's position. That's about 200 pounds at most, at maximum on that area. So that can be very dangerous, you know. And the way that the takedown was executed, like if you look here, if Yellow wasn't careful, her head would have been driven directly into the mat with 200 pounds of force behind it.
Yeah.
So, that it's scary. When I watched this the first time, I I would never do this to you
Mhm. Yeah,
because
I would be pretty pissed if you did this technique on me
yeah, you know,
with all your weight in it.
because this proves, in my opinion, being a 200-pound guy, this doesn't prove anything. You
It
know,
proves you have a lot more muscle mass against your opponent. That's what this person. Yeah, I was so disappointed when she was stuck there, like holding her opponent's hand instead of like trying to get those hooks in for the back take because it was like there.
right?
But dang, I mean, she put her whole body into that guillotine.
Yeah, but she executed it perfectly. Like,
Yeah, and I think her opponent was very surprised, like, wait, dang, that just happened?
yeah, because her coach Smitty, he is excellent with when going to absolute brackets
Hmm.
and going up against opponents who are way larger than him, like even bigger size difference between these two.
Hmm.
And his submission rate is very high. And one of the things he does is his high elbow guillotine.
Yeah,
So,
I really saw like her elbow was like she was really bringing that arm up.
right. And it's a subtle detail, but I think what Yellow did, yeah, she scooted her hips forward to try to change the angle
Hmm.
on the neck. So, yeah, I'm glad that she won and she got out of there, without being injured. But I can't, like, if this were you or any of our other female training partners or whatever, I don't know if I would allow this to happen.
You mean allow what exactly?
Like an absolute match with a size difference like this and being a transgender athlete that you'd be going up against.
Mm-hmm.
because this is a nightmare for me
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
yeah there's multiple.
I mean, that's kind of opening up a can of worms because there's a lot of debate about um transgendered athletes competing in a gendered sport, like especially when related to combat sports. I mean, it's one thing when you're swimming in your own separate lanes, or you're um throwing a ball around or whatever, but this is, I feel particularly sensitive about this issue because this is a combat sport. You know, people can get seriously hurt. And if you are very clearly, I mean, I think that there are, it's not, I think, there, like, it's a fact that there are biological differences between males and females. And one of them is, it's more the exception, it's more the rule than the exception, that men have more muscle mass than women. There is the exceptional female who might have more muscle mass than a man, and that happens. And but I think that's more the exception than the rule. That's why I say it's more a rule than the exception, that men have more muscle mass than women. And the world's strongest man will always be stronger than the world's strongest woman. If you put,
Mhm.
two body the two number one bodybuilders in their respective genders. And that's why I have and because combat sports is that there's so many risk of injuries involved, I just don't think it's fair to allow transgendered. I don't know. I feel like that's a bold statement to make, and that's gonna get me canceled or whatever. But I don't think it's fair for transgendered athletes to compete in. I don't know. I mean, it's like we have this whole thing about testing for steroids in any other sport. How is taking hormones that much different?
So a little bit of backstory about that match. If I remember correctly, nobody told Yellow that her opponent was transgender. So I think at minimum, people should be allowed the option to say yes or no.
Oh, you mean like if, well, but then they forfeit the fight. And
Right,
you're not going to forfeit a fight. Like, I wouldn't do that,
right.
but
So
that's not fair.
it makes things messy, you
Because
know.
when you, okay, because as someone, I'm a female, and so for me, I think for men in combat sports, it might not be as a sensitive a topic because they're men. If a woman comes into, it's really women who have to deal with this issue constantly, on a constant basis, on all on all aspects of life. When it comes to transgendered people, it's really women who bear the brunt of the consequences,
Right.
usual, because it's the men who are trying to be women, either genuinely or disingenuinely or whatever, and still have that biological makeup. Some of them being quite muscular and built, like this person was. Like, they're very clearly have muscle on them, more than their female counterpart.
Mhm.
And and so of course it's women, and as a woman, i I don't think it's fair to have biologically male opponent in my female division that I had to fight against, because if I choose not to, I forfeit the fight. That's not fair to me, because it's like I didn't sign up. I signed up for female division because that's because I'm a female. That's what I fight in, and males should fight in their divisions. And I'm sorry, males are males and females are females. Females give birth to children. Males do not. Males have higher muscular um or the ability to have a higher muscular
Muscle mass.
mass than females do. Like, those are just Facts. People, sorry. And so yeah, like if I were to go into a tournament, especially a big one that really mattered to me, like let's say Masters Worlds or something, and there was someone in my division that was very clearly more muscular than me. I mean, this is open weight. The video we just watched, that was absolute,
Mhm.
i.e. open weight. There's no for those of you who might not know, it means that there's no all the weight classes can enter into one division, one experience level division, one bracket. So like, and age too. Like you can be absolute masters one, purple, for example. Anyway, so when if I were to do, let's say I just did pans, that's a really big tournament. That one means a lot to me. And I get, let's say I get a silver medal. I have the option to do absolute division. And in the absolute division is a person like this individual who's like very clearly more muscular than me, and very,
It would be like me standing across from you
yeah.
in your in like a
And I would
final
be
match.
like, except with breasts. And I'd be like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't turn the fight down, but would I think it's fair? Hell no.
Right.
But I'm not someone who turns it down. I'm gonna at least try. But would I think that that matchup is fair, or that you competing in my division or my absolute bracket is fair? No. I'll be honest, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be
There's
fair.
already enough things in life that are not fair out there. I think I guess my biggest beef is like, yeah, the people that this movement hurts the most are women. And once again, men, it's like just another way for men to like dominate, take over women's rights, take over like the hard work that the women's movement has made to achieve everything we have. And then they just get to decide, oh, I'm a woman too. What, so you get to adopt all of that? Like, no, you didn't grow up as a woman. You're not a woman. You don't know everything that comes with being a woman. Do you have a menstrual cycle? No. Can you give birth? No. Like, you can't just, I mean, and there's plenty of, and I'm not the only one who has this opinion. Like, there are plenty of transgendered people, male to female, who would also say like, I will never say that I'm a woman, because it's not like, I know I'm not a woman. I'm, transgender, but I'm not going to walk around and act like I'm a woman and I can adopt, basically it's, what is it called? Appropriation. I can't appropriate everything that it means to be a woman. I mean, we talk about cultural appropriation. That is that. That is that.
You know,
Um, you
I actually
know?
I actually got in trouble for pointing that out to one of my aunts, you know. Like I think I termed it gender appropriation.
Yeah,
But
that's essentially it.
yeah.
It's like ridiculous. And then you got people who are claiming to be a different species, as if that isn't any crazy, or a different race, as if that, like, where's the boundaries? What, saying that you're a woman is not as crazy as saying that you're black if you're actually white? Like, where are the boundaries?
So something interesting that occurred in the early 2000s was that there were groups of people who were claiming to be werewolves.
Hmm.
So I mean, most of them were in high school and college. So they would walk around with ears and tails and stuff. And it got so big that the news started doing stories on them. But then right before 2010, all of that disappeared.
Hmm.
But these kids and these young adults would actually tell people, "Oh yeah, I'm a wolf." It's like, are you? Because you look like a human to me. But you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's weird. Like people seem to find it very easy to take on identities, and then it opens up just a bigger can of worms down the road.
And then we have to take it seriously. That's what's even worse.
Yeah.
Like, be whatever you want in your private life, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's getting to a point where it's like, where are the boundaries? You know,
Mhm.
but we live in a boundaryless world. That's not reality, and then also, yeah, the gender appropriation of it, as you said, I like that term. It's just, you look at cultural appropriation and how much flack we were giving people for doing that. This is gender appropriation. Um, at least on the part of males, from males to from the male to female gender community. I feel that there's a heavy gender appropriation going on there that people are just completely ignoring or acting like isn't a problem. And I think it is. There's a lot of hypocrisy going on, and it's just like, it's a movement. It's popular now to to have no boundaries, to have no structure. It's like, there's a social contagion element to it, that people are completely denying. And then, moreover, above all else, there's the health aspect to it, especially when it comes to children and these hormone blockers that exist, and this myth that they are harmless and reversible, which is completely not true. Anyway, I mean, there's just so many things wrong with it. It's just getting to a point where it's ridiculous and unhealthy. But anyway, I
Yeah.
see you have another video up here. We're kind of digressing.
We can continue that conversation in an after hours format video later on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
All right. So this next video is a 10th Planet Intergender special match. So I haven't watched this one yet, but if Eddie Bravo posted it, it should have been a good match. And I'm assuming we're gonna see a lot more skill displayed here, and how a match between a man and a woman would play out when there's more skill and control involved.
Do you know what level these two people are at?
I do
Like, are
not.
they black belts or any?
Um, I'm assuming if I mean, I'm just assuming. I'm assuming since they posted it, they must be at least purple to black belt level.
Okay.
Also, Thanacorn goes to this gym, so
Oh,
yeah,
this one in particular?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's keep an eye out for him in the background.
Yeah.
So here we go.
I can't hear the sound if you were intending to play it.
Hold on.
Usually when you share your screen, there's an option to like include computer audio.
I always forget about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this again.
Take number 2.
It's number 2.
Is it number 3? Is it take number 3?
Take 3. Yeah. Where is that stupid option?
I know that it's like when you
Share. Ah, there it is. Share sound. Hooray! All right, here we go.
Woohoo!
She's a bad chick. She fights MMA. She's in the UFC. Hey, dude, she ain't no joke, dude.
Oh, I'm not. No, I know. I'm not underestimating anybody. I'm down.
Look at his ears, man. Cauliflower ear to the max.
So yeah, this must be a high-level match.
I'm trying to get some more mat time. That first match was too
Hey, dude,
good.
you always wanted to fight a UFC fighter. Here's your opportunity. I just feel like it's illegal.
I can always tell my guys, like, yeah, you're going to take the match with a woman and don't lose to it. You know, you can't underestimate them. But every time I've let a woman compete in the men's division, they've appreciated the opportunity.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is Vanessa's a bad chick. She's no joke. She fights.
I like how they're building it up.
And she's strong as hell, super flexible. She's yoked. Oh yeah, look. She's right there. Boom. UFC fighter versus a sub owner. This is a super fight. Here she comes. UFC fighter.
Do you know who she is?
No, but I'm really bad with names and terms. So don't ever ask me that kind of stuff.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was wondering how big she is or how small she is or
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't follow UFC that closely to know. Like I'll watch a fight if people are talking about it, but I won't remember any of the fighters' names.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Let's continue.
Dang, yeah, okay, she looks fit.
Breast boots and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like, wait, you got the official Medusa right here, you know, competitor for the EBI for Eddie Bravo right here.
Oh, she does EBI.
Some UFC fighters against sub-only fighters. And that's why we got Craig Jones versus Donald Cerrone. Meeting in the middle with combat jiu-jitsu. It would be awesome if this was combat. To be honest. But you know what?
I'll fight a dude. It's okay. My name's Vanessa Little Monster Gamopoulos. I represent One Jiu-Jitsu. I fight for the UFC. And here we are right
Oh,
here
she
at
doesn't do.
10th
She's
Planet,
not 10th Planet.
downtown location, stepping in for a super match.
But they're doing this at 10th Planet, so.
Here,
Right.
we're about to get it. We're
So
about
she's
to
fighting
show
that
up, about
guy.
to get it.
I love you, Mom.
Mama's boy.
So they're closer in size than the other video,
Yeah, I think this is a fairer fight.
right? Leg
You know,
into
that's
me.
the thing about Nogi. It's like, this is what I need to get better with, is there's just so much leg stuff going on in Nogi that I really need to learn to master. And it's just like always leg attacks, ankle locks, knee bars. You
I was
know,
thinking about having another leg lock class, but maybe do it on a Saturday night.
a Saturday night.
Or
Who's
I
gonna
mean,
go to a Saturday night class, man?
okay,
People got lives.
Friday night as usual.
Yeah, probably Friday night. And even then, Friday night is iffy.
Yeah,
Especially for the younger crowd. You're like, I want to go out.
heck, I want to go out. This actually looks like it's a little bit more, like quite a bit more even.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Classic inverted position. It's like, what do I do from here?
yeah, it looks like he got a little confused. Oh, he's trying to put her in a truck, I think.
But she avoided him hitting that other leg.
Yeah. Wait, I missed it. What did he do?
I think she just slapped him.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out why she slapped him.
Just to be, I think. Oh snap! Oh, okay, that was close.
Stripper guard.
Nope. Guillotine
There's
again.
the guillotine.
Move it to the middle.
This is fun to watch, though. I like that. This is a good one because they're
Yeah.
both very technical.
So I've never seen that before.
Suki did that once, like as a defensive position to
Uh-oh.
start out with.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it wasn't quite that, like the arm underneath the leg necessarily, but yeah, it was like something like, he had his arms underneath his legs with his hands out in front. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Is this a sub only match?
I think so, yeah. I mean, they're not keeping track of points.
Mm-mm.
So it's probably an EBI rules match. She is super flexible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely making it difficult for him to get anything. But now she's got one leg behind her, one leg in front. I feel like that's not a good position for her. Generally, if you're in turtle, you want both legs under you.
Yeah, that could be a little bit. That could work against her.
Yeah. Because he's keeping that leg out there, the one behind her.
Right.
He's keeping that out there on purpose. And he could, if he can like, yeah, see, he can work that into a back take or what was it, crucifix or something.
Groin stretch.
What's that called?
A groin stretch.
Yeah, groin stretch.
But she's real flexible. That didn't even phase her.
Mm-hmm. He's probably like, what the hell? That was supposed to work. It works on everybody else.
Surprise.
But still, I mean, he's got a hook in, so he just needs to, he would have just had to get another foot in there.
Right. I think this might end in a draw.
A draw, you think?
Yeah. Unless they're going to do EBI overtime rules.
Mm. How much time did you have? Oh, I see. 1:30. Okay.
Yeah. He had some pretty good submission attempts in on this one.
How old is she?
I'm assuming 20s, 20 something.
Okay. A lot younger. Yeah, he's keeping that pressure low. That's good.
Out of respect, I would not do that grip.
Like the gable grip between the legs. I've never seen that. Like, how does that just prevent her from moving, or is that gonna?
I assume it prevents her hips from moving.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that grip out of respect. I just wouldn't do it.
They're probably like, bros.
Yeah, they may know each other. Oh, he got her.
Well, it's like guillotine?
I didn't quite catch it. Let's see if we can. I think it may have been a guillotine or a Darce.
Maybe it was a Darce.
Oh, wait a minute.
That was a Darce. Because he had her arm.
Yeah, that was hard to see.
Yeah. It happened so fast.
Either way, that was a good match.
That was fun to watch. That was really fun to watch because they were both very skilled.
Yeah, but
there were a lot of close moments there where you're like, damn,
The contrast between those two matches was like night and day.
Oh, yeah. That's what experience will do. It'll completely switch up your game.
Right. So maybe, I'd be interested to see the yellow and gray from the first match. Be interested to see how that match would play out if they squared off again in like 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
after consistent training.
Right. Because I know the first time me and you rolled, I was just an immovable object.
Yeah, I'm sure I was not that much better myself. I was just muscling through everything.
Yeah. And I remember not trying to just like slip and fall and crush you or break a bone or something. So it was just like very.
Yeah, that was ages ago, man.
Yeah, I think it's coming up on
8.
Almost 8 years.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Time flies, man.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah,
But
fun on the mats,
anyways, Yana, it is
Thomas.
the top of the hour.
That it is. Yeah, I think we had a great discussion tonight, and I know I kind of digressed a little bit, and I hope no one cancels me, but it is what it is.
If you get canceled, I'm getting canceled, and we're still going to have these conversations anyways. So
Yeah, you know what's the most, well, I've already listed all the things that are most frustrating, but it's like the fact that you can't say your opinion without this whole like canceling culture or whatever, like as if, I mean, I don't know, offending someone is just the worst thing you could ever do. And there's definitely worse things out there. But anyway, everybody can have their opinion, live and let live. I don't hate anybody. Just let that be known. I'm very LGBT friendly in more
yeah,
ways than one. You can ask any one of my friends, but this particular issue is non-negotiable for me.
I think
Anyway,
it,
that's my parting thought. If you were, I know you usually do like, any last minute words and whatever. That is my parting thought.
no, that's perfect. That, I like how you preemptively answer what I'm about to invoke. That's fun. I'm
Mhm.
tipsy. This is interesting. It's been a
Good.
while.
Well,
Mhm.
you deserve it, Thomas. You've been very, very healthy and disciplined, and you deserve to give yourself a break and indulge a little bit.
Yeah, my blood pressure is normal now, so
That's awesome. That's really great news.
mhm.
So you should, partake in indulgence and a treat to yourself.
It's like to the bar. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, okay,
Oh,
let's not, don't
yeah,
overdo it now, but
I got you.
yeah. I hear you. Yeah, we definitely have to go out sometime one of these days
Yeah.
to really celebrate.
Um, my parents want my boys to stay over one weekend in October, so
Okay.
I plan on planning things
Oh yeah.
because I want to go to the Owl Room in DC because I know the guys who run it. Like I've known them since my 20s.
hmm
So, but that's
Definitely
iffy
do
because
that.
I might encounter people who remember me.
Yeah,
So
but it's been so long. Are you sure that would, I feel like that wouldn't even be an issue because
you
you've
see,
been in
that's
that
what
scene for like years.
that's what I thought, but apparently even with less hair, people still recognize me. So
Mm.
like I was at Springfield Mall and someone was like,
Well,
"Hey,
that's
didn't
their,
you?"
you know what? That's their fault for not even like moving on to bigger and better things in life.
Yes, because I've been shocked to see how many people from that time period are still doing the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like and you can tell yourself that, well, they haven't moved on to new chapters in their life. So
Yeah, it's
I
like
pity the fool. hmm
it's not necessarily a good thing. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'm tipsy. Anyways,
Oh, that's good.
I'll see you later, Yana.
Okay, bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.